This might be an odd thing to say, but Lent is one of my favorite times of year. I view the 6 weeks of Lent as an opportunity for reflection and reset. In the Northern Hemisphere, the season of Lent comes as we're preparing to say goodbye to winter. The days are getting longer and the bird song is becoming louder. We start to have faith that spring might just actually be on its way. And for me, this creates a deep inner desire for renewal. Lent always feels like an invitation to me because when we know that something specific needs to change in our lives, it can feel scary or overwhelming or just hard. But the 6 weeks of Lent gives us a nicely packaged container in which to experiment with change, to try things out, to take a break from something, or to make a commitment to something. Experimentation allows us to envision the possibility of change in a new way. The 6 weeks of Lent begin with Ash Wednesday, a ritual that reminds us of our finitude. Ash is applied to the forehead as the words of Genesis 3:19 are read. You are dust, and to dust you shall return. I've always loved this somber scripture because there's just something so fundamentally true about it. We will return to dust. Someday our bodies will be returned to the earth from which we came. We were made of dust, and we will return to dust. But in between, we're alive. We're able to experience the reality of being. The ritual of Ash Wednesday grabs us and tells us to pay attention. This ritual asks us to notice, to look, to investigate. What are we doing in this life? What direction are our actions taking us in? Through the practice of ritual, these questions can't stay theoretical because through the ritual, we are physically marked. We are marked with ash, marked with the stuff that's left after a fire. Ash is full of meaning, and it's nothing. It's a dust that'll be blown away by the wind. So what does it mean to remember that we're dust and to be marked by ash? In her book of blessings, artist and minister Jan Richardson writes, "Blessing the dust for Ash Wednesday. All those days you felt like dust, like dirt, as if all you had to do was turn your face toward the wind and be scattered to the four corners, or swept away by the smallest breath as insubstantial. Did you not know what the Holy One can do with dust? This is the day we freely say we are scorched. This is the hour we are marked by what has made it through the burning. This is the moment we ask for the blessing that lives within the ancient ashes, that makes its home inside the soil of this sacred earth. So let us be marked, not for sorrow, and let us be marked, not for shame. Let us be marked, not for false humility or for thinking we are less than we are, but for claiming what God can do within the dust, within the dirt, within the stuff of which the world is made, and the stars that blaze in our bones, and the galaxies that spiral inside the smudge we bear." This blessing accepts the reality of death and pain. It acknowledges the days that we feel like nothing, like we could simply blow away. But it doesn't leave us there. This blessing cries out in hope. It asks us to remember what remains after we feel like we've been scorched. It reminds us that being made of dust is a deeply sacred reality. The dust in our bones is made of ancient ashes, of all in creation that came before us. The dust in our bones is made of stars and sacred earth. Remembering that we are dust is not about belittling ourselves. It's not about shame over the mistakes we make. It's not about humiliation or false humility. It's about understanding that we are one small part of the big, mysterious universe. It's about remembering that our life can't last forever. Remembering that we are dust and that we'll return to dust is an opportunity and an invitation. It's an opportunity to examine our life in frank starkness. It's an invitation to make choices that lead us toward our highest potential. So I invite you into this practice of Lent. You can find an Ash Wednesday service this week, or you can create your own ritual. Spend time outside, sit on the earth, feel the dirt with your hands. Build a small fire and watch as it burns. Watch the transformation of wood becoming ash. Mark your body with some of the ash, remembering that your life is finite. Spend time in honest self-reflection and identify a change that needs to be made. Choose a small action, giving something up or adding something in, and make a commitment to experiment with this action over the next 6 weeks. Let this ritual help you walk through the transition from winter to spring with intention. Let your experiments with change help build up a sense of hope and renewal deep within your spirit.